Hello everyone, this is Vintage PCs Alike. I am decided that I have come out of my hiatus, at least shortly, to bring you a video some of you might find interesting. Like I said in previous videos, I do videos on stuff that I find interesting. So, what I have here is a U.S. Army or U.S. Marine Corps issue, depending on what you look at, PASGT vest. This stands for Personal Armor System Ground Troop. This was issued during the Gulf War, Grenada, and I think was phased out in the 90s when it was replaced by the IBA or the Interceptor body armor. Now, the whole reason these were touted as ineffective, or, well, more so, I believe the NIJ refused to give these a actual rating because of this flap down the center here. And you see, I lift this out, and yeah, it's strange. See, what you have to do is you have to layer this protection in here, this Kevlar, because you have to double layer it. But the issue with that is it creates a weak point in this Velcro, because this could easily, you know, slip on the inside in some way, and it could create a hole. So if somebody, say, took fragmentation or shrapnel or even small arms fire, because this will indeed stop, believe up to a 357 or what was it, something like 45. Give it about a 2A rated vest, realistically. But if somebody were to take shrapnel, small arms fire through here, and their vest had parted down here, it would actually create, you know, a pretty serious wound, because all here is pretty vital organs. You know, you've got your lungs on both sides here, you got your heart, you know, all that crap. But these vests have saved lives, and as you can tell in here, let's see if I can get a zoom in on that. It says here, read then keep the use and care booklet in this pocket. This armor may save your life. The military was really trying to reinforce this, because we had guys like the Rangers that were wearing, you know, only front plates because they didn't plan on getting shot in the back, and, you know, people didn't particularly like that protection-wise. So they issued these, and the whole idea around it was actually, here, let me pull out the manual. I have it here in a bag, because this actually explains my point that I'm trying to make pretty well. Approximately 75% of all combat casualties are caused by fragments from mines, mortar shells, grenades, and artillery fire. Recent combat data, 1980s, indicates that 7 out of 10 casualties were not wearing armor vests. Your armor vests protect you from fragmentation by employing the principle of retardation. The multiple layers of tough aramid material form a strong, pliable barrier to missile fragments from mines, grenades, mortar shells, and artillery fire. You see, they're really trying to enforce that this will, you know, keep you safe. But, yeah. Missile fragments may penetrate the outer layers of the aramid material, where it is slowed down and eventually stopped by the inner layers and prevented from passing through the armor. This vest does not protect you against small arms fire. Now, I'm pretty sure they put this in here because most people in, you know, the Iraq conflict, Grenada, and so on, wherever these vests were used, they were not being shot at by, you know, your average backyard 22 plinker or your 9mm or even your 12 gauge with buckshot or something like that. They were getting shot at by AKs, you know, Mosins, you know, Russian surplus weapons, RPGs. And this fragmentation was really what this was meant to stop. It really was not meant to stop rounds, and it can, as a lot of videos on YouTube will prove. And for the love of God, please stop shooting these things. There's so many videos out there showing, oh yeah, this'll stop rounds. You don't need to shoot any more of these. These are getting pretty hard to come by, honestly. I had to go to Goodwill's website, you know, as Goodwill stands, it's not really the most reliable source for things. And basically what this explains in here is, you know, Just, you know, keep the thing good, and it'll keep it safe, and it'll keep you safe. But yeah, and this is you know, guidelines for when you receive the vest. Make sure there's no tears or snags, defects, and make sure that the aramid layers on the inside aren't bunched up or anything. And there's a sizing guide, which actually I will put this right here, so if any of you guys are looking into buying one of these, and I do recommend this because this is body armor, and even if it is old, it can still stop rounds, and this is, you know, great for preppers or even home defense situations, because you could just throw this over quick, because it's a jacket style. It's not, say, a JPC like over there in my chair, which you have to, you know, do a lot of Velcro. So here's the sizing chart. NATO sizes, of course. And here we have some explanations of proper wear and protection and whatnot from fragments. And again, reinforcing that this vest may save your life. It just explains when you should wear this and how you should wear it. And of course, here it is, the life you save may be your own. And of course, it's telling you, keep the thing good and it will keep you good. And it says, of course, here, you know, bunching and whatnot, and if it says, you know, if the vest is bunched and you cannot get these bunches out, turn this in as soon as you can. But yeah, that's pretty much really continued in the rest of this packet. And then you've got, you know, your name, vest size, date of issue, and whatnot. Sadly, it doesn't have anything on there about that, but this packet in a PASGT vest will normally, if it is in the vest, be placed in this pocket right here where the label for size and whatnot is. I'm keeping it out of there for my use because I don't want to ruin the documentation. And this vest, these vests seem to run small, at least in my case. I'm a pretty small guy, as you know. I'm tall, but I'm very skinny. And the vest is, they run wide more than anything. As you can see, it says chest size from 37 to 41 inch chest, and I have like, what? I don't know when I really measure. I think it was like 32 or something. This vest should be huge on me, but it isn't. This is made by Greenbrier Industries, which I find kind of funny, since I think Greenbrier is also a British foods company, which is just sort of an interesting little anecdote. And of course, we have the name of the owner in there. I'm not sure if this was issued or not, or if this has seen combat, because it doesn't look like it has, but at the same time, it did come with a desert cover, which I will grab for your entertainment. I literally had to pull this thing off the vest. I'm probably not putting this thing on there, but the gist of it is this is just a 3-color piece cover which goes over your vest, and it's amazingly hard to take off and put on. But yeah, you close this up, overlap the flaps as the manual says. Kind of hard to do in a office chair, but you get the point. Overlap. That's how you would properly wear the vest. Now, another interesting thing, as the manual explained, but I didn't really explain it to you, these shoulder pads, they're not detachable just for the sake of being detachable. They're not really detachable in that sense either. They can sort of, you know, lift up like this, that's about it. They are sewn into the vest. But what this is for is your Alice gear, actually. Because you can run the straps for your Alice gear under these, so you can just, you know, unclip your Alice gear and take the vest off in a whole one unit, instead of having to, you know, take your Alice gear off and then the vest off and everything. It just comes off all at once. It's got the high shoulder on it, it's got the big collar, and trust me, this collar is a pretty high collar. You've got your, now these are not for Molly, these are for Alice clips, for running things like ammunition pouches or even small grenade pins if you could get it through there. I also have these pouches on the front here for magazines, whatever you want to put in there. I currently have dryer sheets in there just to get it to smell a bit better. I did clean this. I would advise, if you do buy one of these, clean it, because as opposed to modern ballistic vests, these do not have mesh lining on the inside, so that encourages buildup of bacteria and whatnot. And just for your own health, I would advise you clean it. And all I really did with mine was take a couple antibacterial wipes and thoroughly, with a couple of them, thoroughly wipe down the vest on the inside and the outside just to make sure it was all clean. But yeah, honestly, I find these are very interesting pieces of history, sort of that in-between where we're going from just having, you know, your steel pot to your steel pot, maybe your M69 fragmentation vest, to your body armor, Kevlar, and your Kevlar helmet, to, you know, plates and whatnot. And actually, I do have a replica PASGT helmet here, which has, you know, the cat-eye band ran through the cable holder, whatever you want to call it. Got your one-strap system here, and I really can't properly review this because this is a replica. This is not a real helmet. But you can get PASGT helmets for fairly cheap, and this is the beautiful thing about military surplus. You can get all this stuff for fairly inexpensive. This vest was, well, counting on the fact that Goodwill has no clue what they're selling ever, this vest was about $37 shipped with UPS. This helmet, you can buy it from various airsoft websites, even Amazon. Of course, you don't want to buy a replica if you're looking for real protection. If you want real protection, you can go to various auction websites. I found eBay, actually, tends to be a pretty darn good place to find milsurp items that are being auctioned off. You can find these for about 40, 50 bucks. Buy it now, maybe some bidding, I don't know, if you're lucky. But yeah, that is the Personal Armor System Ground Troop Protection Vest, or Fragmentation Vest. And this has been Vintage PCs Alike, bringing you a video. See you next time.